You open your phone, a cascade of faces, vacations, political hot takes, and breakfast options floods the screen. It's a digital campfire where everyone is telling their story. The laughter is loud, the opinions are stronger, everyone is performing. Now, shift your gaze. Look at the shadows just beyond the firelight. See those people? The ones who are watching, listening, but never stepping forward to speak. Their profiles are sparse, maybe a default picture, a locked account, a last post from 3 years ago. They are the lurkers, the silent ones, the ghosts in the machine. What's their deal? Are they just shy, boring, or is something more profound at play? We often assume that not posting is a deficit, a lack of something, confidence, news, a life. But what if it's the opposite? What if their silence is not emptiness, but a deeply intentional, psychologically rich stance? Let's pull up a chair next to them and peer into the quiet. You might be surprised by what you find. You might even see a part of yourself. Think of a grand, bustling museum. You have two types of people. The first is the person who stands in front of every painting, taking a selfie with it. They are documenting their presence. The experience is filtered through the lens of proving they were there. Now, consider the second person. They walk slowly. They stop. They read the placards. They lean in to see the brushstrokes. They are there to absorb, to learn, to simply see. The person who doesn't post on social media is very often this second person in the digital museum. They are the intentional observer. For them, the value of the platform is not in adding to the noise, it's in the signal they can extract from it. They are the ultimate fly on the wall. They scroll through the feeds of friends, acquaintances, experts, and celebrities with a quiet, analytical curiosity. They aren't just killing time. They are conducting social reconnaissance. They are learning about fashion trends, political arguments, the latest memes, and the shifting dynamics of their social circle. All from a safe, non-participatory distance. It's a form of intellectual and social gathering. They are building a database of human behavior, and they don't need to input their own data to do it. This isn't passive. Don't mistake it for laziness. This is active consumption. They have curated their feed to be a source of information, not a stage for performance. They follow historians, scientists, journalists, and artists. Their following list looks less like a high school reunion and more like a university syllabus. They are using the platform as a tool for learning. The goal is intake, not output. Why would they stop their focused learning to post a picture of their lunch? The two actions are on completely different planes of purpose. The reward for them is the aha moment of understanding, not the dopamine hit of a notification. We have a word for this behavior: lurking. It sounds sinister, doesn't it? It implies a predator, someone hiding in the shadows with ill intent. But this is a gross mischaracterization. For the intentional observer, lurking is a valid, peaceful, and highly efficient mode of participation. It fulfills all their social and informational needs without any of the performance anxiety. They get to be a part of the global conversation without ever having to raise their voice. They are the audience members who are perfectly happy in their seats, taking in the play. They paid for the ticket with their attention, and that is their chosen form of participation. They are learning about you, about the world, all while you're busy deciding which filter makes you look most like you. Now, let's talk about the people who see the digital campfire not as a place of community, but as a data harvesting bonfire, and they want no part of it. These are the privacy purists. Their decision not to post is not born of shyness or a lack of things to say. It is a principled, almost philosophical stance. It is a line drawn in the sand of the internet. For them, every post, every like, every share is a tiny piece of their soul being commoditized, packaged, and sold. And they are not selling. Think about what you're doing when you post. You are providing free training data for the world's most sophisticated advertising engines. That cute picture of your toddler? It's a data point. That rant about politics. It's a signal fed into the engagement algorithm. The privacy purist understands this transaction with stark clarity. They see the strings attached to every free platform, and they choose to cut them. They refuse to be a product. Their silence is a form of protest, a withdrawal of their consent to be mined and monetized. It's a quiet rebellion against the surveillance economy, and they are its unsung revolutionaries. There's another, more intimate layer to this. It's called context collapse. Imagine you're at a massive chaotic party. Your grandmother is there. So is your boss. Your ex-partner's in the corner. So are your college friends and that random person you met at a conference once. Now, stand on a table and shout a story about your wild weekend. That's what every social media post is. The privacy purist finds this absurd and deeply unnatural. We are hardwired to share different parts of ourselves with different people. We tell one story to our therapist, another to our drinking buddies. Social media smashes all these contexts into one bewildering blob. The purist rejects this. They prefer the richness and authenticity of context-specific sharing. A private text to a friend, a phone call with a parent, a conversation over coffee. Their life is not a broadcast. It's a series of curated private conversations. There is the concept of ownership. When you post a memory, who does it belong to anymore? The privacy purist believes that the moment you perform an experience for an audience, you fundamentally change it. The experience becomes content. The memory becomes a metric. That breathtaking sunset you witnessed on a secluded beach? Its value, for the purist, lies in the visceral private feeling of awe. The salt spray on your skin, the silence, the color of the sky. The moment you pull out your phone to stage the perfect shot, you have stepped out of the experience and become its director. By not posting, they are reclaiming ownership of their own lives. They are living for the memory itself, not for the narrative. Their memories are stored in their minds and hearts, not on a server farm, and they are all the more precious for it. Here is a different type of silence. This one isn't about observation or principle. It's about an internal, relentless critic. Meet the quality over quantity perfectionist. This person may want to post. They may even open the composer, select a photo, and start to type. But then, it happens. The voice in their head kicks in. Is this photo truly the best representation of that moment? Is this caption witty, or is it trying too hard? Is this thought profound enough to justify taking up space in someone's feed? The cursor blinks, and blinks, and then they close the tab. The draft is saved, forever languishing in digital purgatory. This is not a simple fear of judgment from others. That's too simple. This is a fear of judgment from the harshest judge they know, themselves. The perfectionist's benchmark for what is post-worthy is set at a dizzying height. It's not about avoiding embarrassment, it's about achieving a personal standard of excellence that they themselves have defined, a standard that, more often than not, is unattainable. That picture from the hike is nice, but was the lighting perfect? Was the composition flawless? No? Then it doesn't make the cut. It's a brutal form of self-curation where 99% of potential content ends up on the cutting room floor. Let's talk about the sheer labor of posting. For you, it might be a 30-second affair. For the perfectionist, it's a project. It involves selecting the right image from hundreds, painstakingly editing it to capture a specific mood, and then crafting a caption that is equal parts insightful, humorous, and authentic. They ponder the timing. Is 2 p.m. on a Tuesday the optimal moment for engagement? They consider the hashtags. Are they relevant but not desperate? The mental energy required for this process is colossal. For them, posting is not a casual throwaway act. It's the digital equivalent of publishing a small personal magazine. And who has the time and energy to be a full-time publisher? This leads them to actively resist the culture of content for content's sake. They see the pressure to post regularly to stay relevant in the algorithms, to remind people you exist, as a form of psychological tyranny. It's inauthentic, it's draining. The perfectionist would rather post once a year with something they are genuinely proud of than once a day with mediocre filler. Their silence, therefore, is not a void. It is a collection of unwritten posts, unpublished photos, and unshared thoughts. It is a portfolio of pristine, perfect content that the world will never see, and that is, perversely, the point. Their legacy is the quality they almost shared, and for them, that is enough. Let's get practical, brutally practical. Time is the one non-renewable resource we all possess. The free time maximizer has done the math. They have calculated the cost of posting, and they have found it wanting. For them, social media is a black hole for time and cognitive resources, and they have installed a firewall. Their non-posting is a simple, elegant life hack for reclaiming their most precious asset, their attention. You know the cycle. You post a picture, you feel that little itch. You open the app to check for likes, someone leaves a comment, you feel compelled to reply. Then you see a notification on someone else's post, and you're pulled into a different conversation. 20 minutes later, you're deep into a comment thread about something you don't even care about, having long forgotten the initial reason you opened the app. The free time maximizer sees this doom scrolling to doom posting pipeline with crystal clarity. They understand that creating content is the hook that pulls you deeper into the vortex. By refusing to cast that hook, they remain free. They can dip in, observe, and dip out without the gravitational pull of their own content holding them there. Think of your brain as having a certain amount of RAM, random access memory for your daily life. Managing an online persona, however small, takes up a chunk of that RAM. It's a background process that is always running. What should I post? How did that post perform? What does my profile say about me? For the maximizer, this is unpaid cognitive labor. It's mental clutter. By opting out of the creation game, they are shutting down that background process. They are freeing up valuable mental RAM for what they deem truly important. Their actual job, a hobby, reading a book, or simply being present with the people in the room with them. Their silence is a cognitive decluttering. They make a sharp, conscious distinction between active and passive use. Passive use is scanning, reading, watching. It's low engagement. Active use is creating, commenting, arguing, and managing. It's high engagement. The maximizer consciously chooses the former. They are not against the platforms per se. They are against the time sink they can become. They are the efficient engineers of their own attention economy. They use social media as a tool, a distraction, a window to the world. But they will not be used by it. Their sparse profile is not a sign of an empty life. It's the sign of a life so full that there's simply no room for the administrative burden of curating it for public consumption. This is where we get philosophical. The authenticity seeker looks upon the social media landscape and sees a stage, a grand global theater where everyone is an actor playing a version of themselves called the best version of themselves. And they find the entire production to be exhausting, corrosive, and fundamentally fake. Their refusal to post is a rejection of the performance. It is a commitment to a self that is integrated, messy, and real. We all have a true self, the complicated, contradictory, sometimes graceful, sometimes clumsy person we are when no one is watching. Then, we have the digital avatar, the polished, simplified, highlight reel version we project online. The authenticity seeker feels a profound and painful disconnect between these two entities. To post for them feels like an act of self-betrayal. It is reducing the vast, complex novel of their inner life to a trite two-line marketing slogan. How can a single photo capture the ambiguity of a day? How can a caption convey the nuance of a real thought? It can't. So they refuse to try. They are particularly disgusted by the tropes of the performance. The humble brag. Ugh, so tired from my 2-week vacation in Bali. Struggle is real. The manufactured realness. The perfectly candid, perfectly lit photo showing a flaw that is, in fact, meticulously chosen to be endearing. The authenticity seeker has a finely tuned radar for this calculus, and it repulses them. They see the performance even in the attempts to be authentic, and it all feels like a lie. Their silence is a refusal to participate in the lie. It is a statement that their worth is not determined by their ability to craft a compelling narrative. Where, then, do they find connection? In the raw, unscripted, and private spaces of life. They believe a deep friendship is forged in a 2-hour meandering conversation over a bottle of wine, with all its pauses, tangents, and vulnerabilities. It's built in the shared silence of a long car ride. It's cemented by showing up for someone when they are sick or sad, not by commenting a heart emoji on their feeling rough post. For the authenticity seeker, the digital world is a pale imitation of human connection. It's connection as a product. By not posting, they are investing their emotional energy in the high-definition, high-fidelity world of analog interaction. Their quiet profile is a beacon pointing away from the stage and back toward the intimate, unrecorded, and truly authentic moments that make a life. Finally, we arrive at perhaps the most misunderstood group, the contented introvert. We must be clear. This is not about shyness or social anxiety. This is about a fundamental source of energy and validation. The contented introvert's offline life is so rich, so fulfilling, that the rewards of social media feel like monopoly money, colorful, but ultimately worthless. They don't post for the same reason a well-fed person doesn't scavenge for crumbs. They simply aren't hungry for what the platform is serving. It all comes down to the source of self-worth. Most social media runs on a currency of extrinsic validation. Your value is quantified by your likes, your shares, your follower count. It's a public stock market for your ego. The contented introvert operates on a completely different economic model: intrinsic validation. Their sense of worth comes from within. It's the satisfaction of mastering a new song on the guitar, the deep focus of finishing a complicated work project, the quiet pride of building a garden, reading a challenging book, or solving a complex problem. The applause they seek is their own internal nod of approval. The likes of the external world are a distant, faint noise. Picture their life. It's not empty, it's full. Their calendar may not be packed with parties, but their time is packed with meaning. They have a small, tight-knit circle of friends with whom they share deep, sustained connections. They have hobbies that absorb them for hours: woodworking, painting, coding, hiking. Their living space is a sanctuary of their own interests. Their social, intellectual, and emotional needs are met in the three-dimensional world. Why would they trade this rich analog reality for the thin, pixelated validation of a like button? The platform offers them nothing they don't already have in a more potent, meaningful form. This leads to the most crucial point: the absence of the voice. This is not a blocked or stifled voice. It is a voice that simply does not feel the urge to broadcast. The impulse that makes you think, "I have to share this," is a foreign feeling to them. They experience the beautiful sunset, and the experience is complete in itself. They have a witty thought, and they may share it with the person next to them or simply smile to themselves, and the thought has fulfilled its purpose. They do not feel the existential need to document, to declare, to assert their presence in the digital universe. Their sense of self is so stable, so self-contained, that it does not require constant external affirmation. Their silence is the sound of contentment. It is the hum of a life that is already full. So the next time you scroll past a ghost profile, a silent friend, a locked account, pause. Don't assume a void. Don't pity their quiet. That silence is not a blank page. It is a deeply written story, just in a language you might not be fluent in. It's the story of an observer gathering intelligence, a purist guarding their sanctuary, a perfectionist honoring their standards, a maximizer reclaiming their time, an idealist seeking truth, and a contented soul living a full life off-screen. In a world that screams, "Look at me," their quiet choice to simply be is perhaps the most provocative statement of all. They are the quiet custodians of a different way to live, and in their silence, they ask us a powerful question. If a life is lived fully but not posted online, does it still make a sound? The answer, echoing in their contentment, is a resounding yes.